We're hearing a lot about the importance of self-care, but what is that exactly? If you haven't watched before, my name is Dr. Nicole Didick. I'm a geriatrician, a medical doctor who specializes in the care of older adults. And the purpose here on The Wrinkle is to bring you information that you can use about aging. We hear a lot in social media and other places about the importance of self-care. A lot of times that's in the context of taking a bubble bath or giving yourself a facial or a pedicure. Those things can be very relaxing and enjoyable, but to me, that's just scratching the surface of what self-care is really about. There are 3 things that I want you to know about self-care. One of the main things that I think we can do in looking after ourselves is to ask for help from others. You're the only one who can look after yourself. And if you're getting in over your head and you need help from other people, you're the only one who can ask for help. That can be hard to do, especially if you don't know where to turn for help, or if you feel like other people have enough on their plates and they might not have anything left over to help you. But asking for help is a really important part of self-care. If you're, for example, a care partner for someone who's living with dementia or another medical condition, you can ask for help from your home and community care agency, from the Alzheimer's Society, for example, or from family or friends. Help can come from unexpected places, but sometimes we have to reach out for it first. So one of the really important parts of self-care, in my opinion, is asking for help for yourself. Self-care can include saying no, not committing to doing everything all the time. It's okay to say no, but it can take practice. Saying no doesn't mean that you're rejecting the person who's making the request. It just means that you are prioritizing other areas of your life. And that's a big part of self-care. So saying no when somebody asks you to do something is okay. Give yourself permission to say no and practice doing it. It gets easier with time. You don't have to do something just because you're getting pressure from your family or somebody else. You're in the driver's seat. And saying no is a good way to flex those driver muscles. Oftentimes we get overwhelmed because we haven't said no to things that we really wanted to say no to. Things that we just didn't think were a priority, but we agreed to because we wanted to be nice. But remember, being nice to yourself might mean declining an invitation to do something that just really isn't a priority for you. The other thing that takes practice is self-compassion. I like that phrase a lot more than self-care, but it is something that you have to work on and try repeatedly. Self-compassion means treating yourself the way you would treat a friend, with kindness, patience, and understanding. It involves developing a positive dialogue in your own head. So some people find it helpful to write down some positive statements or just positive things about themselves or their life that they want to remember. The dialogue that you have with yourself in your head is one that you hear a lot. You hear your own self-talk more than you hear what other people say. So it's important to make that positive, affirming, and something that's going to make you feel better. Something that's going to show caring for yourself. Some people find it helpful, like I said, to write down some of these positive thoughts or to listen to audio tapes or meditations or things like that that include some of those positive messages. You can find some of those online, or maybe just rereading things that you've read before that kind of struck a chord with you, things that you want to remember, things that make you feel good about yourself and your situation. Self-compassion is really what I think of when somebody says self-care. You can do that while you're giving yourself a pedicure, for example. But it's more important than just the physical act. It's actually a mental act too, a mental practice. Now, there are other practical aspects to self-care, like eating well, getting enough sleep, doing exercise, staying hydrated, going to your own medical appointments, flossing your teeth, all those little things that really are important when it comes to looking after yourself. But it's much easier to find the time and energy to do those things when you've learned how to ask for help, say no, and be compassionate to yourself. So remember, the cornerstones of self-care, in my opinion, are asking for help, saying no, and above all, being compassionate to yourself. Self-care and self-compassion are kind of the same thing. Let me know your thoughts and let me know what you do for self-care. If you want to know more about aging, go to www.thewrinkle.ca or watch the video that YouTube is suggesting to you right now.